Hello, welcome to Shad Life. I am out here at Murphy. This is the big parking lot here. There's the trailhead building, but the trailhead is actually across the road over there where you enter the trail. I haven't been to Murphy in, I want to say, at least 2 or 3 years. It's kind of funny, but since I'm hitting all these trails in the metro area now, I decided I'd hit Murphy. Believe it or not, I was just up in Cuyuna yesterday and I rode Bison Run. I was up there finalizing some of the stuff with my property and things like that. I no longer own it, and I no longer own an RV trailer. I've moved on. So there we are, but I will still be riding up in Cuyuna. One other thing while I'm at it is I'm gonna try out these new Vans shoes. You can see a little bit of red. I did wear them yesterday at Cuyuna, but I'll wear them on this ride and talk about them. And just they advertise them as a BMX shoe, and I'll talk a little bit about that as I'm riding. So let's get into it. Just got to get suited up. We'll hit the trail with my chesty mount. So here we are. Here's the entrance. It looks like they moved it. And oh, that's the wrong way. Yeah, it looks like they switched things around a little bit from last time I was here, because I remember the entrance being over there. All right, so let's go this way. So I feel like I get my numbers wrong about the distances of these trails. Trail Forks, when I added everything up, seems like about 9.5-10 miles of trail, but we'll see when I get to the end what my Garmin says. So, and that's doing all 3 loops. Again, this is an older trail. It's a stacked loop system. So you have this beginner trail here, and then you get the next loop in, which is a little more advanced, and then you get the even more advanced trail. But honestly, nothing here is more than intermediate skill level, from my memory anyway. So here's the map, and so now they have a pretty direct route right into the trail. You used to have to ride quite a bit. I think you went the other way and did all this and then jumped in. So they've changed that up a little bit. And then you jump on, and there's this loop, the stack loop. So green, blue, and then more blue in my opinion. There's some features in there, but it's nothing super scary. So, but it's a fun trail, so let's go hit it. And to my memory, there's not really any like jumps or major features. I think there's some skinnies off the trail in a few places and stuff, but yeah, this is a whole new entrance. But maybe there'll be something that wasn't here when I rode it a couple of years ago. I feel like I've been out of the loop as to what's going on with this trail, because I don't remember this as being the start, and I don't know if they just reversed the direction or if this is all new trail. Of course, when I'm riding a trail the opposite way, it feels completely different, but I'm kind of assuming that's what they did, is they changed the direction of this second layer of the stack loop. Yeah, I'm still not sure. I think maybe that the very beginning was changed, and now I'm back on the regular old trail, but it doesn't help. I didn't ride this trail for a long time, so now I don't remember, but it's fun. I'll know once I get to where the next loop intersects with this loop, because I remember that a little bit. Oh, slippery. Kind of like some areas are loose over hard, so slide a little bit. All right, here we are at the intersection. So to keep going, you go this way over a little rock pile. So this is normal. I actually think that I was going the same direction as always on that trail. They just changed the beginning a bit, and that confused me. I'm so not into these rock gardens on the middle of a climb like that. Oh, I remember this, and that's all. Yep. Ooh. I remember, right? This, oh yeah. I don't know why I went this way. It's a whole lot of work. Technical climbing. Oh, just not enough juice for it. Whew. There's skill for that stuff, which I'm sure I have. And then there's fitness level, which I don't have. And then you got this rock armor right here. Whew. That's a lot of work. All right, while I'm taking a breather after this gnarly rock climb that I walked up, riding my Spectral 125, but I want to talk a little bit about these shoes. These kind of lean more towards 510 style shoes with a softer, gummier bottom. But now that I've been riding them for a while, I rode them yesterday up in Cuyuna and here now, they're not as grippy as 510s, but they're really grippy. And so I can see why they call them a BMX shoe, but they actually work really good for mountain biking. Probably with the exception of doing like a super gnarly rocky or bumpy downhill descent or something where you might bounce your feet off. You want 510s, or you want to be clipped in for that stuff. Like imagine if we were going down something like that. Probably even more rough than that. But for most part, they grip really good. What I really do like about them is I can move my foot around, and I actually, being a BMX rider, I like to be able to reposition my foot. And when I'm jumping, I like it when my foot can move on the pedal and stuff like that. I don't, with 510s, they are so stuck to the pedal, you don't get that freedom of movement. So there's like a fine line between getting good grip, but still being able to move your foot and reposition it on the pedal. So a lot of people might not understand that. It really depends on your riding experience and what you want out of a shoe. But for me, I'm actually really liking these. And I did Bison Run, and there's a downhill rock garden there at a fast downhill flow section and a bunch of jumps, and had no problem with my feet being on the pedals. Keep in mind, I grew up riding BMX where I was never clipped in, and I rode crappy shoes on crappy pedals for many years, so I know how to ride without a lot of really good traction. So that's why I can do this, and I think a lot of people could. But there are some people who, you know, they don't know how to really properly bunny hop or unweight their feet to let the bike come up and stuff like that, and they have problems with their feet bouncing off or coming off the pedals. You know, so it just really depends, right? I can't recommend this shoe for everybody, but I could certainly recommend it for the more experienced rider, or maybe a BMX rider like myself riding a mountain bike that wants that just enough grip but not too much grip. I feel like 510s are too much grip sometimes. So there you have it. That's what I feel about these shoes, and it's time to get back on the trail. I turned off my camera just before a guy came up and just cleaned that rock garden. Bummer. I wish I would have had it on and filmed him. But so you can climb it, because I just watched the guy do it. Now back on the regular trail after the shoe update. So if you're wondering, this is definitely an XC trail. If you're like wanting to rip jumps and drops and that kind of thing, you're not really gonna find it here. This is straight up more of a classic style flowing single track with some rock gardens and stuff, and climbing and a lot of work. As you can see here. See, I made it. Whew. Little rock features on the downhill aren't too bad. It's the uphills that get me. Trail's in really good condition. It rained a couple of days ago, but it didn't take very long for it to dry out. It's nice. I haven't run into any soft spots. Oh, here's a rock something or another. Ooh, here's that step down bridge. This has been here for a long time. There's even a ride around on it now. Funny. But yeah, just go straight on this thing. Try not to get too wobbly like I just did. A little pointer for you, especially for those newer to mountain biking. Make sure you have some type of GPS device with you that tracks the distance. And then a look ahead of time and find out the distance of the trail so you can gauge yourself. So right now I looked at my watch and I'm at a four-ish miles in, right? And at the beginning I know that this trail is going to be around probably 9 miles, so I'm not quite halfway, I'm guessing, but at least I have a rough idea. So if I start to get really tired or feel a little bonky or whatever, I'll know to take a break or slow it down and take it easier or recover more. And the opposite of that, you'll know whether you can really push it harder. You might be like, wow, I have a lot of energy left and I'm already halfway through. I can just start hammering hard, right? And it helps you pace yourself. But if you're out on the trail like this, you're not sure how far in you've been riding and you don't know how long the trail is, you're kind of just winging it, and I just don't recommend that. Make sure you have something so you know how far you have left, how much you have remaining. This is new. This is a little extra loop. It wasn't signed. Wondering how new it is, but I rode right past it thinking it was just some rogue trail, but then I saw like some rock gardens and a drop and I'm like, oh, maybe I should take it. So I went back and got on it. Climbing features, oh gosh. Whew. So much work. Oh, woo. I think there's a drop up here. I want to look at it before I ride it. Okay, so this is new to me anyway. I don't know how long it's been here, but it's basically, it's not a straight drop. It's actually got a little bit of a upward slope to it, and then you could just roll over it and ride down it, or you can send it. And if you send it, there's not a whole lot of downside, but I got full suspension, so why not? I have no idea how much speed I need for this thing, so we'll see. Oh, not much at all. Just pretty much roll off of it, go right over. Cleared it. Funny. And he's like, glad I didn't pedal into that too much. Do not stay on that. Oh, I don't even know what's the left. Oh, just a bunch of rock features. I think I'll skip those. Ah, there's no signage. Oh, here we go. course, I have my seat up. Wasn't expecting this. Okay. Oh well. I would have rather dropped my seat, but I didn't have time. Whoa. I know where we are. Jeez, my memory just fails me big time. But now up here I think is where there used to be an old ride right there, the old log, but it's all rotted out now. I know right where this is. Yep. Funny. All right. I do have to say, once you've jumped like legitimate jumps, kind of like what Monarch has, and you see these little rolls or small kicker things that they have here, and they're like not even like thrilling. It's like, feel like you're gonna put the effort into putting these in, at least put like 2 so people can double them or something, or manual through them, or do something kind of cool. This part's kind of fun. Narrow, right in the middle of the woods. Slightly downhill, kind of a nice cruising speed. Oh, I see. This is the end of that loop. Okay. And we're at 8 miles. So I didn't ride this when we were coming in because it's uphill. But going this way, it's downhill. So I'll try this thing out. So it's like you got to go up these 2 steps, ride the skinny bit, and then down the steps on the other side. And if you come off of the skinny part with your front wheel, you have a sharp edge there to endo, so you want to make absolutely sure if you are coming off to like get like steer off, right? So you don't catch your wheel on that edge. Let's see here. Oh, yep. No problem. I like my little... Whoa! So now we're on the intermediate loop, I guess you'd call it, on the way back out. So that whole section I just rode could be skipped for some people if they didn't want to go that distance. Whew. Yeah, it looks like we pop out onto the green trail in the prairie. And there's the green loop if you wanted to only ride this short section with kids or something like that. So this is the only part that they changed direction on, because this used to go the other way, and so it confused me at the beginning of the ride. See, if you like to jump to flat, that's what those are good for, but I'm just not one that likes to jump to flat. Straight into the wind, even though I'm going downhill, it's like slowing me down. Whew. I also feel like this prairie part is longer than it used to be, which is kind of nice if you have kids or beginner riders and they want to just try this out. It's cool. Ah, there's the parking lot. Oh, and a big headwind. Oh, you probably can't hear it now because I have that wind slayer on my GoPro, which really helps. There you have it. That's Murphy Hanrehan for the full name. More trail, one of the older trails. Okay, so I'm back at my car and I was just shy of 9 or 10 miles. So it was like 9.8 miles doing all the trails on the Spectral. So I was pretty accurate right off the bat. I think I said somewhere between 9.5 miles. So pretty spot on. So it's XC trails, as you can clearly see. I mean, there's that one wood feature drop thing. There's a skinny in the middle of the woods there that I completely forgot about. But it's kind of high elevated and pretty skinny, and I don't know, just not feeling like riding that kind of thing right now. But there are some features in there, but it is mostly an XC trail. Like, if you like to get your fitness on and go fast and rip through and get some flow and do the more challenging rock garden things, especially climb stuff, this is your trail. But if you're like a free rider, or you know, you've got an enduro bike and you're looking for jumps and drops and, you know, features like that, Monarch is your place. Or Cottage Grove Bike Park or something like that. Coming here, you're not going to find that fix, but it's still a fun trail. It has its purpose. This trail's been around for a long time, since like the mid 2000s, I want to say, was when it was being rebuilt. Originally it was just up and down rolling ski trail hills. Not really, you know, double track, not really single track mountain bike trail. But yeah, it's been around a long time. And it's a classic. And here's my shoes. I'm liking them. I'm definitely liking them. I think they're going to stick around. They might even replace my 510s. One thing I do want to do though is I'll do a comparison. Somebody did make a comment asking me or telling me I should ride clipless or whatever, like, and they made it sound like I need to ride clipless to keep my feet on the pedals. Well, that isn't why I would ride clipless. I have no problem keeping my feet on the pedals with these, and these aren't even as grippy as 510s. I use clipless or clips or being clipped in. Clipless is kind of a funny term, but I ride clipped in only for, you know, more power, more pedaling. And actually I feel like I probably would get through some of those rock gardens, especially the rock garden climbs, if I was clipped in, because I could do that pull on the back side of the pedal stroke. So I'll do a comparison. I'll ride clipped in and talk about it, and talk about the advantages of it and some of the disadvantages of it. There you go. I appreciate your support for my channel. This is Murphy. Please like and subscribe. Peace.